Congress's commitment to Meghalaya, empowering the women of Meghalaya. 3,000 rupees every month to every single BPL mother in Meghalaya.
5 commitments na kasing Congress na kabinta ka 5-star Meghalaya.
Voice of the People's Party candidate from Pynthorumkhrah, Mayborn Lyngdoh, on Wednesday said that the coal trade in Meghalaya is purportedly being made illegal to serve the interests of the people in power. Speaking to the Shillong Times, Lyngdoh said that if coal amounting to Rs 2.5 crore is transported outside the state on a daily basis, then the GST to be collected will be Rs 46 lakhs. Adding that the state share from this GST would be Rs 23 lakhs. According to him, the state exchequer is not getting from the transportation of coal at the moment since it is being transported illegally. He said that if the fund from the transportation of coal is coming to the state, then the government will be able to pay the salaries of the teachers, health workers, ashas and other categories of employees on time. Now, if only a few vested interests are benefiting from this illegal transportation of coal, Lyngdoh said.
Into power, if we can change, if by the grace of God we win and I actually become the education minister, we will have only 3 sets of teachers. One is government teacher, the other is the aided teacher, and the third is the private teacher. And how are we going to allocate the funds that are going to go to these 3 categories? I have already sorted out a plan, but if I explain now, it's going to be too complicated. So I just want you to know that we are working for the welfare of everyone, and we already have a plan on how to make that happen. We can just on it's like on a clue, we can make that happen by making these funds and by utilizing these scholarship schemes and also these aided funds properly, by also having a survey report on all these different schools, and by doing away with the ghost schools that are there in the state of Meghalaya.
If you have to read or observe the performance of Ba-el-Hek in the past 25 years, what will be your judgment?
See, but as an individual, Ba-el-Hek is a very nice man. He's a good man, I can say. He's someone who we can talk to. He's someone who's approachable. He's someone who has also helped the poor when they need. But as a politician, Ba-el-Hek score in the report card is very poor. Because I've seen for the last 20 years, as far as I can observe and as far as I can remember, poor people are getting poorer. There are no opportunities for the youths. There is no development for the people. Water scarcity is still there. The Greater Shillong water supply that has been there, actually that was supposed to start from our constituency. The plan was in 1970, then it took 30 years for the plan to be completed. But till now we have not seen the Greater Shillong water supply. Then we have seen so many of these, let's say these houses that are meant for the poor that are not being given to the poor, because if you take a look at these Muda houses that are there, some are very questionable and no questions are being made by our politician. You can go there and then you can survey for yourself. You can see these expensive cars that are there. If those Muda houses are meant for the poor people, then where did these expensive cars came from? And we are not talking about tourist taxis and all, we are talking about private cars. So it's quite questionable. And not just that, we can see that the peace and harmony of this constituency has always been hanging in the balance. See, people in this constituency are voting for one party or the other party because they feel threatened. They feel that if they vote for this party, then this is going to happen. If they vote for this party, this is going to happen. So people are voting not for change, they are voting for security. And that security has not been guaranteed to the people in the constituency. But now it's time that we change. It's time that we change the way we think, the way we see and the way we perceive things. if we want to live together. We have to grow together, we have to work together, and we have to be the change that we want to see. So on that note, on my report card, by elect as an individual, he scores a good score, but as a politician, he scores very poor.
Of coming into the limelight during the education of teachers, then what will be your goal if you are elected for the welfare of the teachers of state?
So the first and foremost is I will be working for the students. So I want to bring the free education to the students according to the Right to Education Act by the Government of India 2009. So it's already there, but it's not here. The Government of India has given, but it is not being implemented in our state. So the first is for the students. And if you take a look at the teachers, it's very complicated because we have so many different sets of teachers. We have the government teachers, then we have the ad hoc teachers, we have the deficit teachers, we have the SSA teachers, we have the food teacher, we have the science teacher, we have the maths teacher, we have the Hindi teacher, then we have the contractual teacher. So all these teachers are being divided and separated into so many different parts, and not to forget the private teachers. When we come into power, if we can change, if by the grace of God we win and I actually become the education minister, we will have only 3 sets of teachers. One is government teacher, the other is the aided teacher, and the third is the private teacher. And how are we going to allocate the funds that are going to go to these 3 categories? I have already sorted out a plan, but if I explain now, it's going to be too complicated. So I just want you to know that we are working for the welfare of everyone, and we already have a plan on how to make that happen. We can just on it's like on a clue, we can make that happen by making these funds and by utilizing these scholarship schemes and also these aided funds properly, by also having a survey report on all these different schools, and by doing away with the ghost schools that are there in the state of Meghalaya.
Can you tell us what made you choose VPP?
Well, the decision on choosing VPP is very simple, and the reason is because we look at the leaders. First, we have Ba Ardan Basaimwat, who is the president of the Voice of the People Party. He's a man, he is a just man, a man who has worked for the people, a man who has distributed all these MLA schemes without any partiality on anyone. Then next is we have Mr. Adalbert Nongrum, who is also someone that we all look up to. Then we have other people as well, these professors and all. Dr. Karachan, who was my professor in St. Anthony's. He teaches political science. Then we have Sir Bright Star Marbanyang. He's also an assistant professor in St. Anthony's College. Then we have Dr. Ricky Singkon, who is the candidate from Umsning. So he is actually working in the Northeastern Hill University as the professor. And we have Dr. Batskiam Marbo. And we have also other young people just like Iban, and we have Dr. Pastor Shandang and all. So these are the kind of people that I want to go around with, and these are the kind of people that I can trust. That is why we chose Voice of the People Party, because we have people without any stain.
What will be your priorities for the constituency in case if you are elected?
For the constituency, the first and foremost, like I said, it is for the students. We want to send these poor students to school because they ought to be in school. They ought to be educated so that they can look forward towards a future that is bright and beautiful for them. The second priority that I have is for the manual laborers, to raise their standards of living by bringing in all these different skill training program. For example, right now the skill training program in our constituency is only there at Belfon. It's not enough. Only 35 students can be enrolled at one particular session, and But if we take a look at our constituency, even the people who are actually able to vote, we have 31,000. So how can we occupy all of that there? So when we're talking about skill training program, as you can see in all of these government offices right now, we have people who are engaged in wallpaper, in ceiling lights and so on, but we do not have people who are engaged in wallpaper and ceiling lights in our not just in our constituency but in the entire state. So we want to bring in these people from outside to train our people so that our people can be empowered. See, right now, people who are coming from, let's say, Guwahati, for just the ceiling lights or just the wallpaper, they are taking how much? 10,000 per day? So if we have our own people, even if they are taking just 5,000, what kind of a manual laborer is able to earn 5,000 per day? None. So we want to open up opportunities for them as well, not just for the literate but for the illiterate as well. Then if we are talking about job opportunities, we also want to build these tanks, huge tanks, to supply water, because in our constituency we all have water pipes everywhere but no water. So we want to protect these springs, these water springs, these fresh water springs that are there in different parts of the constituency. The springs that we can protect right now, the best is in Maupat, in Wadawip and Wat Jajau. So we want to protect them so that we can protect them for the future as well. So then from there we can generate employment, because we'll need a person who will open the tap in the morning, close the tap and so on, who will work with the pipes. And not just that, we will also want to convert the 14 crores that is being wasted on these festivals, to convert it into jobs. Because if we
Mayborn, can you tell us what made you to contest this election?
Well, the reason that I chose to contest in this election, first and foremost, is because I feel that I got the answer from God that I should contest in the elections. And I just decided one day when I was just thinking whether I should contest the elections or not, after having a conversation with my parents. Then this thought came to my mind that one day if God asks me when I die, when I'm standing before Him, why didn't I jump in? Why didn't I take the challenge? And why didn't I try? Because God has given me so much of talent to speak, to tell the truth, to be able to change that I see around. Why didn't I take up the challenge? Then I cannot tell God that I was scared, because God will then tell me that, you know, I have gone before you. Even during the time when we were agitating, I've gone before you. Why are you doubting me now? So it's based on that thought process that I just made up my mind that I'm going to contest in this election, no matter what happened. Until now, God has been leading every single day of my life.
Congress commitment to Meghalaya, an unemployment-free Meghalaya. Congress is committed towards providing a job to every household in Meghalaya.
5 commitments na